Clare are the All-Ireland Senior Champions of 1997. 1997 has been a unique year in hurling. The year when the losing finalists of Munster and Leinster were allowed back into the new All-Ireland format. Wexford were the defending All-Ireland champions. Clare, the 1995 title holders, were attempting to regain the Liam McCarthy Cup. We look back on the year with members of that all-conquering Clare squad. Winning in 95, of course, everybody was on your side then. Then you had that year of a break. Was that a good thing, do you think?
Hard to know, Jimmy. In some ways, it would have been nice to do 3 in a row, but maybe we wouldn't have had the same hunger this year if we had gone on and beaten Limerick last year. Who knows what would have happened after that? Anyway, you can't really say. It was a Munster semi-final and we would have had to beat Tipperary last year, which Limerick struggled to do at the same time. So, in some ways, it was a good thing in that at the start of this year we really made up our mind that we were very disappointed last year and that we were going to have a right cut off 97.
We thought in 96, it was a lapse of concentration and these things happen, but we set about it, workman-like fashion early in 96 for the 97 season, and I probably worked even harder than we did in 95 for it, so we knew it was there. I mean, you can't win an All-Ireland and not feel that you could come back again and win another one, so we felt there was very little we had to do other than work hard.
Clare's 1997 campaign began with a preliminary round tie against Kerry. The result was no surprise, Clare winning by 24 points. 3 goals, 24 to 1 goal and 6. That victory put Clare into the Munster semi-final against opponents who would give them a much sterner test, Cork. And before the Cork game, Ger Loughnane talked about his expectations for the year ahead.
We still had a very good chance of winning the championship last year. I think we played in the best game of the championship last year between Clare and Limerick. It was an absolutely superb game and a very hot day in Limerick, and we were just beaten in the last second, the last puck of the game almost by a point. So we came close last year. But having said that, there is no comparison between the appetite that we had last year and the appetite we had in 1995. And as you say, this year there's no excuse. I mean, it's either win or nothing this year. So going out by a point in a semi-final this year is no good to us. Nothing good to us this year except winning. And so we have to win the game against Cork to make a start to this year's campaign. Otherwise, the year is a disaster again for us.
Ger said all year that the Cork game really was the key game for us. We knew if we got over Cork, we were going to be hurling until August. And we'd fancy ourselves in that situation. So the Cork game was a game we treated very, very seriously.
Clare started well against Cork, and 12 minutes in, they were leading 5 points to 1 after converting some good scores.
Towards Fergie Toohey, breaks down instead to PJ O'Connell. Timmy Keller is the player who's chasing. Brian Corcoran in next to try and dispossess him. Support outside from Colin Lynch. And it's Anthony Daly who swings it in, however, and Anthony Daly has got the point. David Fitzgerald dropping it into the middle of the field. Ollie Baker going for it. Here comes Colin Lynch. Going for the score himself, and that'll do his confidence. A wonderful boost indeed. Jamesy O'Connor got onto it well. Fergal Ryan misses it completely. Cork defenders are very nervous. This is Clancy going for the score, making it look easy.
27 minutes played and Clare still led by 4 points, but Cork were now playing a lot better.
Look where Shawnee McGrath is. Cross here towards Barry Egan, taking it away there from the attentions of Liam Doyle. Very good skill again by the Cork number 12. He wasn't tooped, he gets his shot in, and he has put it over the bar. That's Diarmuid O'Sullivan from Cloyne. Hasn't seen too much of the action so far. Colin Lynch got to stick to it, but couldn't deflect it down towards Clare. Instead it's Alan Brown. Now Shawnee McGrath. Somebody's got to stay really close to Shawnee McGrath. He's exerting a big influence in this match. To Joe Dean, good catch. He's got Barry Egan beside him. Going for the score himself, however. Dean hitting it, and Dean has put it over the bar.
2 points the gap then, and 2 points the gap at half-time. Clare 9, Cork 7. 5 minutes into the second half, Alan Cummins scored a long-range point to bring the sides level, 11 points each. But Ger Loughnane replied with 2 points in a row.
In the Clare colours right now, it's Colin Lynch towards Ger Loughnane. Nice pick up ahead of John O'Driscoll. The shot is fired in and Clare are back in front again. Pucking this one out into the breeze. Timmy Kelleher knocking it back only as far as James O'Connor, who's now operating on the 40. Tight situation there. Putting that ball ahead there towards David Ford. Let's see what kind of a difference David Ford and Gerald Loughlin and company can make in the second half. That's the shot from Gerald Loughlin, and it's gone over the bar.
Sean McMahon, the Clare centre half back, then converted this free to increase Clare's lead to 3 points. Over the next 20 minutes, Cork worked hard to reduce the deficit, but Clare always managed to keep their nose in front, and with 3 minutes left, they led by 2 points.
Will it be Clare then? They've looked the winners for some time past, but Cork giving a very battling performance this afternoon. PG O'Connell, inside it goes. Gerald Loughlin, the Sparrow, injured. The ball is left there. Here come Clare. Great chance, and that's it, surely.
With that Stephen McNamara goal, Clare had booked their place in the Munster final. Cork did pull 1 point back before the end to leave the final score. Clare 1 goal, 19 points. Cork no goals and 18.
It was more or less the same team over the 2 years, but there was one significant new man come into your team in the centre field.
Yeah, I mean, Colin has been around a while, really, Colin Lynch, and he was maybe struggling to make it there for a while, but really this year when he got his chance, he just exploded onto the scene. He was superb in every game, which was, you know, anyone would have an off game or have a game that he didn't play as well in as the previous game, but Colin, I think, was so consistent in the 4 games, and that really was a boost for us, you know. It really gave us more options.
In the other semi-final, Tipperary faced the reigning Munster champions Limerick at Semple Stadium in Thurles. There was little between the teams in the first 20 minutes.
This is Cleary from what seemed an impossible angle. Carey again, superb. Great ball to Mike Houlihan. There's a point here for the Munster champions. Here come Tipperary. Tommy's done, and that is over the bar. Mark Foley given a bit of space and time to set up the shot and set up the points.
With 21 minutes played, the teams were level at 5 points each. Michael Cleary was back playing for Tipperary only a few months after fracturing his skull in a club game. He was having a great match, and he got the next score of the game, a goal.
Aidan Butler sending it across to John Lahey. There's plenty of green grass in front of him. He has to go it alone. Stay Quaid saves, but nipped in by Michael Cleary. A great save by Joe Quaid, and so unlucky. But what opportunism by a man from Nina called Michael Cleary. And the Tip people are the premier side, no doubt.
At half-time, there was still a goal between the teams, Michael Cleary getting the last point of the half to lead the scores, 1 goal and 8 points to 8 points. In the second half, Limerick were outclassed by a Tipperary team who were scoring well and defending well.
John Lahey gets the clearance in. Comes to Declan Ryan. Now that would be a great point. It is. Comes outside to Michael Cleary. Anybody available? Cal is calling for it to the far side. Coming like a train is Lahey, but the pass is not a good one. He's facing Declan Nash, but Lahey from a difficult enough angle puts it over the bar, and that secures his hat-trick of points. Declan Ryan are chasing and harassing and pursuing everything. To Cleary on the wing. Here's another point. Up towards Gary Kirby. Knocked down for Frankie Carroll. It hits Michael Ryan. And he wasn't expecting it. Now, here's Frankie. And again it's Michael Ryan. That's the sort of defending we've seen from Tipperary. Comes to Declan Ryan. There's another point here. The white flag has been raised. Pat Heffernan, lovely to Barry Foley. He has to go for goal. It's stopped by Brendan Cummins. Great goalkeeping by young Brendan Cummins.
A great display by Tipperary, who booked their place in the Munster final with 10 points to spare. The final score, Tipperary 1 goal and 20, Limerick 13 points.
The one thing about 95 was that we didn't beat Tipperary on the way, and it's fair to say that there's great rivalry between Clare and Tip, always has been over the years, and I suppose to get a crack at Tip in the Munster final was a big thing for us, because we maybe felt that we weren't really a proven team until we had beaten Tip, so it was a huge game for us.
You have to play and beat the big guns if you want to prove yourself. We hadn't proven ourselves until we beat Tipperary in a major game. That was the last big psychological barrier facing Clare. We had overcome all the other ones. Munster final, All-Ireland final. The last big psychological barrier was, could we beat Tipperary, one of the strongest teams in the country? Could we beat those in a Munster final? And going down to Cork that day, on a lovely summer's day, I think the air of determination in the bus was greater than I've ever seen before, or since even, to beat Tipperary that day in Cork. And we went down very early in the morning. The morning was beautiful. The place was thronged with Clare people. And if ever you could feel an electric atmosphere, it was when we went out on the field that day. And I think we started the game that day against Tipperary to match the atmosphere. We started at a really electric pace.
Through the centre, Colin Bonner lets that one run away onto the Sparrow, holding it up for Jamesy to come onto. They got a man over, PG O'Connell once again. You wonder, where's Rémi Ryan? Closing in very quiet, very slowly. There was a trip over by Colin Bonner. Referee says, let's play on, and the Sparrow does, and he puts it over. Daly straight to the dancing feet here of PG O'Connell. Good block by Rémi Ryan. Comes back to Colin Lynch. And there's always anticipation that the ball may come back to a man in support. It comes to O'Connell and he finishes it off. Neat pick up here by Declan Ryan. Oh, he angles it into the centre and there's nobody there except Colin Lynch. A real wasted opportunity at one end. Lynch at the other. He's put it over the bar.
20 minutes into the game, Sean McMahon scored this point to give Clare a 10-2 lead. Tipperary looked lost then, but John Lahey helped to show the way with 2 excellent points.
Caught well by John Lahey, beating the attempted block. He really forcefully hit that one and it drops over the bar. Good point by John Lahey. Colin Bonner was out first for it. Now Tommy Dunn into space. Liam Cahill quick off the blocks, trying to get there ahead of Frank Lohan. It's John Lahey once again. Tip looking to the seasoned performers like Lahey and Ryan. That's another fine shot and another great point. 2 points for John Lahey.
By half-time, Clare's lead was reduced to 5, 13 points to 8. And 7 minutes into the second half, Tipperary had wiped it out completely with fine scores from play and good free taking by Tommy Dunn.
Nice ball across towards Kevin Tucker. He's got men running ahead of him. Holds onto the ball. Goes for the score himself. Well, he might. He's put it over the bar. Anthony Daly. He was getting that kind of time in the first half where he was able to take that kind of ball. Not so this time around. And Declan Ryan has put it over the bar. Tommy Dunn will hit this. 4 frees taken so far, 100% success, 45 metres out. He's got another one, and the teams are level for the 3rd time.
13-13 the score at that stage. Clare took the lead again with a long-range free from Sean McMahon. Then David Ford came from the subs bench and effectively won the Munster title for Clare, scoring a point and then a goal in 3 minutes of play.
Great stylish play by Jamesy. Conor Gleeson. This to the new man in. and that's got over the bar. Very good substitution, and it's Clare 15, Tipperary 13. Jamesy O'Connor once again, up towards Gerald Loughlin, taking Noel Sheehy on a tour of Torquay Weave. The Sparrows going by over the head of Michael Ryan on towards Ford, and the referee sees the crash to the net. David Ford. This is how it happened.
Yes, that's a great score by Clare and a great run by Gerald Loughlin. We seen him do it in the first half, taking no Shea way to go, but it's a tremendous shot, looking back into the back of the net. Great goal.
When James O'Connor scored this point, Clare had a 6-point lead with 9 minutes left. Tipperary did manage to reduce the gap to 3 by full time, but it was Clare who were the Munster champions with a final score of 1 goal 18 points to Tipperary's no goals and 18 points. Tipperary were visibly disappointed by the result, but they had the consolation of knowing that they were not out of the championship. A second chance would come for them in the quarter-finals, but Clare were the Munster champions.
That was the test of Clare. The biggest test we have ever faced was that about 10 minutes into the second half against Tipperary. They had drawn level, they had a very strong breeze behind them, and we had to stand up and be counted, or we'd be forever known as a flash in the pan. And I think that's where our fellas really proved their character. We turned the game around, we went 4 or 5 points ahead, and even though Tipperary could have levelled in the last minute, we definitely deserved to win the game. And I suppose the feeling when the game was over was the best feeling we've ever had in the 3 years that we've been there.
Wexford were reigning All-Ireland champions, but after a poor league run in which they were relegated, many felt that they were destined for an early exit from this year's championship. In the semi-final, they met Offaly, who had overcome Laois in the previous round. Wexford and Offaly had met in the Leinster final a year previously, and just like then, this was an exciting match. 4 goals were scored in the first half.
Liam Dunn coming to take this 65, his 23rd championship match. Oh, it's going to go! My goodness me! So just 10 minutes gone, and something of a fortunate goal for Wexford. Larry O'Gorman watching Mitch Jordan come forward. Great dispossession. That was a wonderful little tip away there by the left half back Colm Cassidy. Rod Guiney, Wexford's captain, in towards Gary Lappin. He was anticipating, racing in ahead of Keenahan with the shot. Not much power behind it. He's following in, and Wexford have another, and it's Gary Lappin. 12 minutes after the first dropped in, Gary Lappin has scored for Wexford, and once again some very uncertain goalkeeping from David Hughes. Story dropped in towards Gary Lappin, and another one! The overhead strike by Gary Lappin. After his first, the second is swept in past the helpless David Hughes. Joe Dooley simply has to get his team moving. Liam Dunn, that ball is out there towards Johnny Pilkington. Offaly are renowned for their fighting qualities. They have a chance here, and they're back in business. Billy Dooley swiping that one in, and it's exactly what the Offaly fans have required.
6 points between the teams at half time. Wexford 3 goals, 6 points. Offaly 1 goal and 6. 20 minutes into the second half, Larry Murphy scored this point to put Wexford 7 ahead. But typical Offaly, They fought back.
Here comes Johnny Pilkington. Great solo run by Johnny Pilkington. Chased after by Cod. It's goal! A goal by Johnny Pilkington. That will surely rouse the Offaly team and their fans.
4 points between the sides, but with time almost up, Offaly had reduced it to 2. Martin Storey scored a great long-range point, so Offaly needed a goal to force a draw.
Here's Billy Dooley, burying it a goal. Servo, great save! What a save from Damien Fitzhenry! Just when a replay looked on the cards, that was superb goalkeeping. My goodness.
Thanks to that wonderful save from Fitzhenry, Wexford through to the Leinster final.
Billy Dooley, last minute, Leinster semi-final.
Well, that was a kind of a lucky one, you know. When there's a man coming across with a ball like that, you obviously hope he's going to hit it across you, because if he hits it to the top corner or the bottom corner, you really have no chance. I was just on the lucky side that day. It just came across me and I rose the hurl and was lucky enough I blocked it out, you know.
In the final minute of the first half in the other semi-final, Jerry Ennis scored Dublin's second goal to give them a surprising 5-point lead over Kilkenny going in for the break. However, Kilkenny recovered and scored 2 goals on their way to a 7-point victory.
Phelan runs on inside to Delaney. A snapshot, and it's going to net. PJ Delaney looks bemused. He was going for a point, but they know where it finished. It finished in the Dublin net. Philly Larkin dropped in towards DJ Carey, rises up for it, and he's got another! PJ has turned this match around with the help of PJ Delaney. I make it a goal at 7 points for the man from Young Ireland's in Goran.
Do you believe in Santa Claus?
It's a funny question. I do. I still have something from Santa Claus when I was 4.
That's the helmet.
That's the helmet.
All right.
And
Now,
as you can
let's
see,
clear this up. This is the helmet you will use this year and that you've used in all your senior hurling career.
that's right. I've used this for a long time now. I got this when I was 4 years of age. I'm now 26, so I have it 22 years. It's a little bit battered. There's tape holding it together. It's cracked. It's there's a bit of blood on it. There's a bit of bandage on it for the blood. There's everything on it. But it's the one thing that I would ever hate to lose or ever break or ever not have when I'm going to a game.
There was a fantastic atmosphere in Croke Park for the final. Wexford and Kilkenny are old rivals, but for Wexford in particular, to beat Kilkenny in a Leinster final is something special. 20 minutes into the half, DJ Carey converted this free to give Kilkenny a 6 points to 2 lead, but Wexford came back well.
Nicely at Liam Cohen, lets it go off his stick. Tom Dempsey here has it, almost falling down. Goal scorer in the All-Ireland final has turned it over the bar, and there's just 2 between them. Martin Storey tripped, injured indeed as he was flicking that ball up towards Gary Lappin. A chance for Lappin, and he's put it over the bar, and there's just 1 point between the teams.
In the closing stages of the half, Kilkenny held a 1-point lead, but within the space of 2 minutes, they had increased that to 5.
John Parr trying to link up there with Andy Comerford. Back to Philly Larkin, the snapshot, and that's sailing over the bar. Keogh, hand passing it towards Liam Dunn. Larry O'Gorman an option as well. Oh, a terrible ball straight to Peter Barry. Mishit it, however. Eugene Furlong has lost it as well. Charlie Carter in after it. A series of errors here. And in front of goal, it's buried. PJ Delaney.
Early in the second half, Andy Comerford increased Kilkenny's lead to 6 points. Wexford needed to respond, and soon.
Liam Dunn. Right in there. Tom Dempsey coming right across from left to right. Bearing in on goal. An important Wexford champions are back in business. It's 1-8 to 1-5. Here's the free. Paul Codd the taker. That looks like beauty. That's straight over the bar. Two between them. David Byrne has it, the new man in the full back line for Kilkenny. Larry Murphy chased a good 30 metres to make a dispossession there. Gets it to Adrian Fenlon. Players calling for it. In the deafening noise of Croke Park, can he hear them? Can he see them? He spotted the run here of Rory McCarthy. McCarthy, a story alongside him. Goes for the score himself and he's put it over the bar. Just the point between the teams. Billy Byrne then urging the side on. The champions now playing like champions, having had a giant lift with that goal by Tom Dempsey in the 11th minute of the second half.
There was little between the teams over the next 15 minutes as they exchanged scores. With 7 minutes left, Rory McCarthy scored to give Wexford a 1-point lead. It was anybody's game. That was until super sub Billy Byrne took to the field.
The face of Liam Dunn from Oulart the Ballop. Wexford champions twice in recent years. Down it goes in towards Billy Byrne with his first touch. Can he score? Substitution! There he is again. Billy Byrne. The first ball they played to him, and he sticks it in the net. He's an amazing player. Martin Storey without the stick, the hand pass to Gary Lapham. The champions now turning it on the second half against very game challengers. In towards Byrne again. He's caught it once more. Edge of the square. And that one has gone over the bar. A goal and a point for Billy Byrne. 1977, the last year that Wexford beat Kilkenny in the Leinster final. Here comes Billy Byrne again, the wonderful super sub, and he gently taps it over the bar. A goal and 2 points for Billy Byrne. He's only been on the field about 10 minutes and already he's a candidate for man of the match. There's only one Billy Byrne. 2:14 to 1.
Wexford, so long in the wilderness, had retained the Leinster crown. Kilkenny, as losing finalists though, would get a second chance in the new, revamped quarter-finals of the All-Irelands. Three teams contested the Ulster Senior Hurling Championship. Down overcame Derry in the semi-final to set up yet another final meeting with old rivals Antrim. In that final at Casement Park, Antrim were surprisingly outplayed by Down, who scored 3 goals on their way to a shock victory. Martin Bailey in there for Down. The ball just might break to McQuickard. Picked up here by Sean McElhatton. And flicked into the left by Noel Sands coming across the line of attack. Number 15, Noel Sands, the scorer. Knocked in again by McGrattan. Flicked forward by Savage, and here's a real chance now with the right corner forward man. And he gives it a counter, and he bursts the net. The run here made by Coulter out to Ger McGrattan. Yes, it's a great goal by McGrattan. It is a super move by Down. With the provincial finals over, the draw was made for the new hurling quarter-finals. Tipperary, who lost the Munster final to Clare, would play Down. The winners to play Wexford in the All-Ireland semi-final. And Kilkenny, beaten in the Leinster final, would play Galway in the other quarter-final. The winners of that to play Clare. Both quarter-finals were played over the same weekend, the first on a Saturday in Clones, County Monaghan. It is unique, a hurling game in the All-Ireland Championship at Clones on a Saturday afternoon. Down managed to stay with Tipperary for the first 12 minutes. This is a particularly good score from Michael Braniff. Good work on it by Noel Sands. To Michael Braniff. That's a great score. But Tipperary began to pick up the pace, and this was a very good goal, the first one, coming from Eugene O'Neill.
Leeson, Tipperary, Carl gets up for it. Nice layoff by Carl to O'Neill, goal chance, yeah! Yes, Eugene O'Neill.
Tipperary now 4 points ahead. When John Leahy scored his first point of the game, Tip's lead had increased to 8 points. Leahy put on a great display of point scoring in this game, and in the last minute of the first half, his point from a sideline cut increased Tipperary's lead to 12. Tipperary 1 goal, 13 points, down 4 points. Noel Sands was playing well for Down despite his team being so far behind, and he scored an excellent long-range point early in the second half. But Tipperary continued to dominate, and with their lead increased to 16 points, Aidan Ryan hit the goal trail.
Aidan Ryan taking it down. Aidan Ryan bearing down on the Down goal. Great score by Aidan Ryan.
With 15 minutes still left to play, John Leahy scored his 6th point to increase the gap to 20 points. Down looked to be on a hiding to nothing. But in the next 10 minutes, Down had managed to reduce Tipperary's lead considerably by scoring no less than 3 goals, the third of those coming from Noel Sands.
Savage on the carry. Out to Coulter Barry, one of the goal scorers. Into Noel Sands. Double
what a goal!
Noel Sands, the scorer. Wonderful goal. Down's third in the game. And that is as good as you'll see from anybody, anywhere.
Down's fight back was good to see, but there was no doubt as to the winners of this encounter. Aidan Flanagan got a 3rd goal for Tipperary. John Leahy scored his 8th point of the match just before full time. Tipperary 3 goals, 24 points, to Down's 3 goals and 8. Tipperary were then in the All-Ireland semi-final. Semple Stadium Thurles was the venue for the second quarter-final between Kilkenny and Galway. Almost 23,000 people in attendance to witness one of the most exciting games of the year. The first half belonged to Galway. With 17 minutes played, they had an 8-point lead with the help of 2 goals.
Towards Joe Cooney. Oh, yes! Goal for Galway. Pat Costello's puck out. Again, giving the forward players every possible chance. Liam Burke coming into it, he's got support over if he needs it. Goes for the shot himself, stayed by Ronan, and in the end it's swept in.
Kilkenny's spirits were lifted by an excellent DJ Carey goal.
Philly Larkin getting it into Michael Phelan. DJ Carey! Buzz of expectation when he gets it. Carries it on and he scores! I think he felt he might have been hooked. DJ's 16th goal in Championship hurling.
But Galway pulled away again, and they soon hit the net again. Kevin Broderick the scorer.
Towards Joe McGrath, holding it up for Kevin Broderick to come onto it. He's now been marked by Dan O'Neill, remember. That's into Joe Cooney. Lovely ball across to Justin Campbell. This is a great move by Galway. How will it finish? Tapped by Adrian Ronan, back to safety once again. Kevin Broderick buries it! A third goal for Galway. That deserves something. And in the end, it got it. In the 29th minute, 3 goals in 20 minutes for Galway. This was the third. Great save by Adrian Ronan. He was a little unlucky. Went off his leg the second time.
By half-time, Galway led by 9 points. Galway 3 goals and 9, that's 18. Kilkenny 1-6, that's 9. Double scores. In the first 12 minutes of the second half, Kilkenny staged a great comeback.
Free to Kilkenny. DJ to take it. Long distance out. Will it curl insufficiently? It does. And it's a very good start to the second half for the Cats. Cathal Moore was going in for that when it comes there towards Charlie Carter. Lovely score by Charlie. First of the match. Dan O'Neill with the sideline cut to Pat O'Neill. Chased by Joe McGrath. On to John Carr. Nicely infield. DJ's after it. Fast getting it away from Nigel Shaughnessy. Shaughnessy trying to close him down still. DJ getting away from his man, and he puts it over the bar. This is a brilliant spell for Kilkenny. DJ Carey has got a goal and 5 points. Willie O'Connor out by Eddie as well. Next it's Dan O'Neill to the unmarked Andy Comerford. Huge one downfield. DJ's in there waiting. A goal! DJ Carey, brilliant. This is a superb match. DJ's got 2-5. Time to jump for joy again. All of a sudden, just 2 points between them. What a goal by DJ. What a player. Again, it's picked up here. Charlie Carter still soloing forward. Nicely in for Phelan. They've got another. Kilkenny are in front. What a game this sport is. Michael Phelan. 13 minutes into the second half. Would you possibly believe it?
When DJ Carey converted this free, Kilkenny had turned a 9-point deficit into a 2-point lead. And Galway had only scored 1 point so far in the second half. However, they got the next 3 to take a 1-point lead.
Pat O'Neill, Kevin Broderick next. This is Liam Burke, the hand pass outside to the man in support. Francis Ford with the shot, and Francis Ford with the point. Listen to the cheer. His 3rd point of the match.
DJ Carey was a master at his work. With 2 goals and 6 points to his credit already, he had some input into Kilkenny's 4th goal.
Pat O'Neill to take this, that's the position. Every attack so vital at this stage. DJ Carey following in this himself. Oh, first shot by O'Shea! A goal for Kilkenny! Ken O'Shea. 27 minutes of the second half gone. What an introduction to the championship.
DJ Carey scored 2 more points before the end to bring his personal tally to 2 goals and 8. Kilkenny have booked their semi-final place with a 2-point victory. The final score in a great game, Kilkenny 4-15, Galway 3-16. That's 27 points to 25.
Most of us would have gone along, I'd say, to the Galway-Kilkenny game in Thurles, you know, and it was absolutely frightening. I mean, Galway played so well in the first half, and you'd say you were gearing yourself up for marking the Galway wing forward, you know, you were thinking that way. And then DJ just took the game by the scruff of the neck, and along with the likes of Charlie Carter and PJ Delaney. And they played superb stuff in the second half, and had a great win. And leaving Thurles that day, you were half worried, definitely, anyway. You were saying that if they can reproduce that form, they'd be hard to stop.
Our biggest worry going to Croke Park that day was it had been 5 weeks since we played our last championship game, and Kilkenny had 3 championship games in the meantime. We had decided going to Croke Park that we were going to make it much tighter than that, and we would mark the Kilkenny forwards way tighter than Galway did. And again in Croke Park that day, our start was the crucial thing. We started off at 90 miles an hour again.
So the first chance of the match, just outside the 45-metre line, he mishit it. Brian Loam comfortably under it. It's PJ Delaney, by the way, at full forward this afternoon. Ken O'Shea is to the right, Charlie Carter to the left. Conor Clancy is on the 40 for Clare. That's Gerald Loughlin playing it full forward, and he knocks it over the bar from a most difficult angle. Back into midfield. Pat O'Neill remaining at centre half back. And here comes Jamesy O'Connor. Great bit of dash. Wonderful movement and another very good point. Jamesy O'Connor, 2 attacks for Clare. 2 points for the Bannermen. So stuck out here for the recently married Davy Fitzgerald. Into Conor Clancy, hoping to make an impression at centre half forward. Good movement here, O'Connell, Leslie across here. Chance for Hegarty. Oh, it's stopped, it comes back out to the Sparrow, and it's finished. What a great start for Clare. A goal and a point to the credit of Gerald O'Loughlin. Only 4 minutes gone. PJ O'Connell was breezing in here, lovely use of the hand pass onto Fergal Hegarty. The shot stopped on the line by Adrian Ronan, but in the follow-up the Sparrow got there first. Meanwhile the Clare captain, Anthony Daly, straight at Philly Larkin. Moves away from the would-be challenge. Good ball in, high and over the bar. It's exactly what the Cats have required. And it's taken their midfielder, Philly Larkin, to produce that score. They brought Adrian Ronan out from goal to take this. Sun into his eyes, but wind assisted. It's a huge one. Right into the square. DJ in there after it. And going down, and the referee says penalty! Fouled, I think, by Brian Lohan. He stumbled, down he went, and Dickie Murphy had no doubt. DJ Carey to hit this one.
I was behind the goals and the DJ took the penalty, and there have been great saves, but I mean that must rank among the really great saves that Davy Fitz made that day. How he saw the ball coming, I don't know, because I didn't see it coming.
Kilkenny trailing by 4 points. Here comes DJ. Great save by Davy Fitzgerald. A wonderful penalty save.
I can guarantee you he met it with a lot of power anyhow on the day, but I think looking back on it and looking at the video and looking the way I was before he hit it, and the way I felt myself, I remember saying to the boys, lads, we're going to stop this one. I was focused on what I had to do. It didn't matter, like there was 60,000 people there and they were roaring. It didn't matter. I was just focused onto that ball, and that was it.
Did you know that Gerald O'Loughlin was standing in goal as a second goalkeeper that day?
Oh, I could hear him alright, yeah. I was afraid if I let it in what he'd say to tell you the truth.
Sideline cut by Baker. Under it there was Philly Larkin. Drops down, however. Still a few problems for the Kilkenny backs to cope with. Trying to get that one out. Coming out here towards Fergal Hegarty. Trying to make a better angle for himself. Dropping in. Adrian Ronan under it well. Good stop with the sun in his eyes. Great clearance. Frank Lohan touching it down there, but PJ Delaney anticipating. The hand pass was meant for John Parr, went to Ollie Baker instead. Again they sent diagonal balls across here. Picked up here with Niall Gilligan, hoping to knock it over the bar. That's a fine score. First of the afternoon for Niall Gilligan. DJ Carey 1 from 4 so far where frees are concerned, and that's 2 from 5. His second point. Both of them from frees. Trying to keep this rally going now. Jamesy O'Connor flicking that one on. Haven't seen an awful lot of Jamesy in this first half. Colin Lynch in there to challenge Andy Comerford. Still Lynch, still Comerford giving chase. Good layoff at the end of all of that. Here's Jamesy. Great score. Jamesy O'Connor does it, his 5th point. Well, when he gets those breaks in front of goal, he's usually able to take it in most decisively. Good penetrating run that time by Colin Lynch. Great layoff, there was a man loose, and a well taken score. It'll be Jamesy O'Connor to take this. It's next to the shadow of the Hogan stand. Jamesy dropping it off the post. Niall Gilligan responding quickly. Picking it up there ahead of Willie O'Connor. Taking his chance. second point for Niall Gilligan. If Clare get to the final, he'll be trying to impress upon the selectors that he should be in from the outset. Certainly the corner forwards are doing well, getting out there ahead, in particular Gilligan against Willie O'Connor. This time David Fitzgerald being called on from his goal to come out and make the pick-up. Little block down on it. Charlie Carter's across there for Kilkenny. Batted out here, Sean McMahon, and going down injured is Canis Brennan. Seems to be a facial injury. Play continues out in the middle of the field. Conor Clancy, strongly built fellow, outside towards Jamesy O'Connor. On his left-hand side, very much his trademark in the past. It is again. Jamesy performing his party piece in Croke Park, notching up his 6th point of the day. Adrian Ronan with the puck out, varying it out to the right-hand side this time, towards Andy Comerford. Back by Baker. PG O'Connell, half blocked there by Dan O'Neill. The hand pass inside was intended for Pat O'Neill, but instead it's PG O'Connell on the left-hand side. Usually a good place for him to come to strike to score. O'Connell's first point. And in this particular match, it's Clare who've made the best start to the second half. Still Kilkenny trying to somehow pressurise this wonderful Clare backline. Again, Peter Barry trying to set up the chance. DJ Carey has it. That spells danger, trying to go by. The full-back once again back into Charlie Carter's corner. The belting shot has gone over the bar. A wonderful score by Charlie Carter, his 2nd point of this match. Eddie O'Connor has dropped that one down. Jamesy O'Connor in after it, sprinting away from Liam Cohen. The point came from the handling error. It doesn't matter for Jamesy, he's got his 7th point. But Eddie O'Connor and the Kilkenny fans will feel that he should have caught that one and cleared. He didn't. Nicky Brennan, the team manager, has had to make the switches and the changes. He's added a couple of subs to the list we have on the programme this afternoon. Aidan Nolan and John Dooley have been added. Davy Fitzgerald's puck out, a huge one. The wind behind him. Dan O'Neill trying to keep that one away from PG O'Connell. The Sparrow is in. Still O'Neill trying to get that ball away. First touch letting him down. O'Connell has it and he rattles it over the bar. That's 2 points in the second half now for PJ O'Connell from O'Callaghan's Mills. And all of the Clare following here are really enjoying this afternoon's play. DJ will take the free. He's got just 2 points in this match so far, both from frees. And the fact that he's been held so well by the Clare backs has meant that Kilkenny have not been able to function as they might. That's his 3rd point. But they need DJ to be involved a great deal more, getting chances, making chances and taking a lot more scores. 116 to 9 points. There's still time. Davy Fitzgerald to puck this one out. Sun in his eyes, wind at his back. Towards Conor Clancy. Billy Larkin. Broken play in midfield. Comes to the impish Jamesy again. Thought about the shot that time. Little blocking it by Dan O'Neill. O'Neill trying to kick it away from Jamesy again. Doing very well, the wing back. But one-handed down just as far as Peter Barry. Aware that he was going to be hooked or blocked. That's where the Sparrow is back there helping out. There's a great togetherness about this Clare team. Wonderful cohesion from goalkeeper up to corner forward. And a great spirit and determination in their ranks as well. That's PJ Delaney goes down to DJ Carey. Getting away from Daly. Still DJ. That's what they've needed. And Kilkenny are back in this. And it's taken the brilliant DJ Carey to get it for them. In the 20th minute of the second half. Reminiscent of the goal he got in the first against Galway.
That was a tremendous goal. I mean, Anthony would have hooked any other player, I'd say, in the country for that goal. But he dipped his shoulder, feigned that he was going to hit it, went that extra step, got that little bit of space and stuck it in the net. You know, brilliant finishing. I mean, he's such a quality player that you give him half a chance or any percentage of a chance that he'll stick it in the net. But we got over it. That was the main thing. We were in the All-Ireland.
James O'Connor will take the free. This to keep Clare very much in command of this game. What a performance from play, from frees. Jamesy has got 9 points.
Clare were 7 points ahead at that stage. Kilkenny got that down to 4 before full time, but Clare had reached their second All-Ireland final in 3 years. Kilkenny became the first team ever to be beaten twice in the same championship. Final score: Clare 1 goal 17, that's 20 points. Kilkenny 1 goal 13, that's 16. The noise and the colour of the Wexford support at the second semi-final was tremendous, but within 5 minutes of the start, Tipperary's John Lahey had given them a lot to think about.
And O'Mara playing that one in towards Eugene O'Neill. Lovely hand pass outside here towards John Lahey. First chance, first point. 10 seconds gone. What a start. He's looking really sharp. Brendan Cummins plucking this one out. Doing as well as Fitzhenry with the length and the distance. Towards Declan Ryan. Picked up here neatly by Brian O'Mara. Back towards Declan Ryan again. Knew he was going to be hooked. 2 men after him. Back to Conor Gleeson. The Garda based here in Dublin. And just at the edge of the square, it's gone in! John Lahey has done it again!
Wexford were playing catch-up with Paul Codd scoring an excellent point, but Tipperary soon hit the net again.
Back in by McGrath again, into Brian O'Mara, trying to get free, the hand pass forward for Lahey, here he comes! Great save, back out towards Eugene, back out towards O'Mara, a stop again on the line, it's gone in! Brian O'Mara!
Tipperary ahead by 6 points after the goal, and then it was 7 after Tommy Dunn's point.
Tip mopping up everything in defence, setting up the chances, and that's gone over the bar!
Wexford are not in the game at this stage, nor were inspirational players like Martin Storey, Liam Dunn or Tom Dempsey. Paul Codd was Wexford's best scorer in the first half with 4 points. This is his fourth, scored from the sideline just on half-time to leave the scores 2 goals and 7 points to 7 points. Early in the second half, Martin Storey scored 2 good points as he tried to lift his team.
Down towards Storey, dropped by Shelley, won by Martin Storey. He's got Tom Dempsey inside. If he needs him, he doesn't. He puts it over the bar.
Every time Wexford scored, Tipperary replied immediately.
Larry Murphy, look at how back he is. He's hooked. Ball won back by Cleary. Clever hand pass to Conor Gleeson. 45 metres out. That is a fantastic score.
The Tipperary defence was playing very well, particularly Paul Shelley, who was to be declared the man of the match.
Still looking for their first goal in this match, if there is to be one. Will he get it? Liam Dunn takes it. In it goes, and Shelley has read the intentions and seen the script before. Got out there ahead before it got even near to Billy Byrne.
With 7 minutes left to play, there were just 4 points between the teams, but Wexford could not get any closer than that, and Tipperary pulled away in the closing stages.
Puck out's been taken. Shelley with a marvellous catch again. What a performance by the number 2. Brian O'Mara was left unmarked and he puts it over, and Tip are on their way to another All-Ireland final.
Final score: Tipperary 2 goals 16 points, Wexford 15 points. And so the first year of the new experimental format had produced an eagerly awaited final clash between old rivals Clare and Tipperary. In the run-up to the final, Ger Loughnane explained how his team's winter training helped in part to the success during the year.
Now, this is a very, very difficult hill. It's 185 metres of torture during the months of January, February and March. where you start down there at the road and run, sprint, not just run, sprint all the way to the top. And no sooner have you got to the top, then you have to turn back, go back down again, and sprint up again, usually 24 to 30 times per session. And we have people getting sick and almost fainting and giving up and going back again. And this goes on for about 3 months of winter time. It is a tough training schedule, but I think one that pays off well when the summer months come around. Well, I've done it once. I walked up the hill once actually, and I found it very difficult. So that was about enough for me. It is a very deceptive hill looking from down here. If you go down to the bottom and look up, it's only then that you realise how difficult the hill is.
Painting your car in the county colours certainly gets you noticed. In 6 Mile Bridge, County Clare, we met the pit crew. If they don't see this car on its way to the All-Ireland final, I'll assure you of one thing, they'll definitely hear it. Just give us turn the ignition key there and drill me right. In the Tipperary camp on press night, the mood was relaxed and jovial. You've been asked hundreds of questions by press men, radio men, television men. What's the question you haven't been asked that you wish somebody'd ask you?
I haven't a clue, Jimmy. You better ask me.
Oh, that's a fair enough question then. I think you're from Clonalty, are you?
Yes.
What's your name?
Kieran Hammersley.
Hammersley?
Yes.
Now tell me this, Kieran, who's the best hurler on the Tipperary team?
Declan Ryan.
I bet you. Did he tell you to say that?
No.
That's your God-honest belief?
Yes.
Good man, Kieran. How about that?
Amen.
There's no point in showing a shot of it even, Bob, because it can't tell you, can't tell you how heavy it is. But is that the same stick you showed me earlier?
It is, Jimmy, yeah.
It's getting lighter. Maybe I'm getting stronger.
That's it.
But there's no flexibility in it at all?
None whatsoever, Jimmy, no.
You're the only man with one like that?
I think so. I don't think anyone else would use it.
So if I gave you that ball now, you'd drive it out of sight?
I probably would, yeah, but I don't want it just in case I don't want.
And if I stood here in front of you, you'd drive me out of sight as well?
That's for sure.
What were the feelings coming up to the final?
There were two feelings. Among the supporters, there was a real feeling of terror. That Tip would beat us in the All-Ireland and that we'd undo all the good that was done in the Munster final. Now, before the Munster final, we had drilled into the players, not alone would we beat Tip in the Munster final, but if we met him again in the All-Ireland, we'd beat him the second time. And before Tip played Wexford, in our training, we had been constantly drilling into them the hope that Tip would win, that we'd get a second chance to beat him a second time in the 1 year. Now, we felt sure that Tip would beat Wexford because it was a very difficult year for Wexford. They had done tremendously well to win the Leinster Championship, but it's very difficult to put two titles back to back. And we felt all along that Tip were going to win, that they would be in the final. So we had started our mental preparation, if you like, for it a long way in advance of the All-Ireland. So when Tip got there, we said, great, it's now Tip in the All-Ireland. Here's the chance of a lifetime to do something to Tip that Tip had never done to Clare. In other words, beat him twice in the 1 year in the championship. Then no one would ever question the quality of this Clare team if we did that.
It was frightening coming up to it, the media build up, and there was a bit of controversy, and it had everything in the build up really, and you were just worried that, would it all come back to haunt us then, that we had done all the hard work, won the Munster final, and now were they going to come back and snatch it off us. But I think maybe the fear of losing drove us on that bit extra, and we're prepared for a huge challenge, and that's exactly what we got.
Heading to Croke Park that day, I think I've never felt so calm myself, or all of us never felt so calm. The dressing room beforehand, the build-up beforehand, it was like going to a challenge match really.
3 to Clare between the 45 and 65 metre lines. And Sean McMahon has already scored 11 points in the championship of 1997. Make that 12 points. Great start for Clare. 2 minutes gone and their centre back, McMahon, gives them that little cushion of a point, but it's the moral value of the score. Brendan Cummins, long puck. The first stick is broken in this final. Tipperary trying to get through. It's flicked back to Michael Cleary. They're level in the All-Ireland final of 1997. And Michael Cleary, who's been there, done that before, is the man who scored it, and 6 minutes are gone. "13 All-Ireland medal winners in the Clare team, 7 in the Tipperary team." Here's one of them, Johnny Lahey, got a hefty knock. The players around it know it. Lahey's up very quickly though. He broke his jaw in the game against Wexford in the semi-final. He's wearing a mask today. That's the number 12. Let's watch here what happens. And number 8 is Tommy Dunn. Tommy's had a terrific season for Tipperary. If he lands this one, it'll be 22 points for him in this championship season, and Tipperary have taken the lead. Colin Lynch here, Clare, the midfield find. Up to the stick of Clancy, and it's picked up by Paul Shelley. Getting the better of Fergus Toohey. Here's Sean McMahon. Sean McMahon playing on Declan Ryan today. That's a battle that could decide a lot of things. O'Mara here from Mullinahone. It's O'Halloran chasing O'Mara right through. Shortened the stick. Denied them the possible hook. And it's a great score from O'Mara. Tried at corner forward in the game at Clones against Down. Showed that day that he had what it takes. And Tipperary have found a new star. Every ball you get, every puck you get has to be hard earned. Ollie Baker on the move. Looks up for his score. He's not a man who's noted as a scorer, but that's a good one. And that is really a booster for Clare, who needed a score. That's after 11 and a half minutes. They've got 9 and a half minutes without a score. McMahon got a stick to it, but Declan Ryan avails of the opportunity to go for a score and take it. No, they're signaling it wide. I was absolutely certain from my position that that was over the bar. Dickie Murphy's going to go in and sort it out. Michael Cleary's gone behind to the other umpire. And there's something going on between Johnny Lahey and Liam Doyle. It's been signalled as a wide. Well, we've been playing quarter of an hour and Lahey hasn't got a score and James O'Connor hasn't got a score. I got long odds on that in the bookies this morning. Ollie Baker for Clare. Out on the corner is Fergie Toohey. Nearest Tipperary player Paul Shelley. Toohey dropping it in around. Batted down by Michael Ryan. Helped out by Conal Bonner. And Noel Sheehy comes out from full back and clears off his left side. A good clearance. In the midfield, Declan Ryan picks and leaves it out. Declan Ryan took a knock as he dispatched the ball to Johnny Lahey. Oh, this time there's no argument about it. It's over the bar. It's Lahey, brilliantly fled by Ryan. Declan Ryan is a very substantial centre-half forward.
Yeah, that was a great catch and was led on to Lahey. And Lahey's first opportunity, he lifts and he strikes. That was a great point. Great point.
Colin Lynch, Clare. Good block, Conor Gleeson. That was Michael Cleary. Declan Ryan, the layoff to Gleeson. And that's Tipperary at their methodical best. A point by their captain, Conor Gleeson. Conal Bonner's clearance. Out comes Michael Cleary. With him there was Frank Lohan. Lynch getting away from Gleeson. Drops it in and over the bar of Brendan Cummins. Colin Lynch, the scorer. Clare's third point of the game. A game that is now
17 minutes old. Poked out a little bit by Daly. 3 Clare men. Michael Cleary, Declan Ryan again, feeding it down into the corner where Eugene O'Neill is stationed. He runs up against Lohan, and that usually means full stop. This is Thomas Dunn for Clip. Nice, neat pop over the ball. Lovely score by Dunn with the neatness of the artist. Marvellous stuff. And again, who was at the centre of the move? Declan Ryan. 24 minutes gone. The time has absolutely flown. Michael Ryan here from Upper Church, Strumban. Down for the hand of Declan Ryan. Declan Ryan to Johnny Lahey. Johnny Lahey over the bar. Declan Ryan has done it again. In my opinion, he is outstanding for Tipperary. I don't know if Sean McGuinness concurs.
That was a great catch by Ryan. Look where Lahey is. Lahey sweeping across the back, lifts the ball and strikes it over the bar. That was brilliant play.
Colin Lynch crossing that left corner. James O'Connor got to stick to it, brought it down. But Tipper wrestled it in there, and Tommy Dunn puts it away down to Eugene O'Neill, the 19-year-old. And O'Neill pressed to the ball before Brian Lohan, and they'd love that one. Not many people have scored against Lohan. In fact, I think that's only the 3rd point scored of Brian Lohan in this championship. This is Tommy Dunn, right from the 45-metre line. And Tommy puts it over, and Tipperary stretch their lead. First score of the game for James O'Connor, is it? Yes, it is. But only when it came off the goalkeeper. And there's no doubt Clare had been struggling to assert themselves in this game. That came off Lahey, down to his clubmate O'Mara. Declan Ryan beaten by McMahon. Colin Lynch, Clare, midfielder, playing right half back just for the moment. Up as far as PJ O'Connell, lets it out to Haggerty. Haggerty in where Gilligan is there. Gilligan with Shelley behind. Shelley is she. Gilligan has it again. Can he get room to swing a stick here? He can, he does, and it's over the bar. But that's back-to-back points for Clare, and are they back in business? Half an hour gone. Big catch by Ollie Baker from the threat of John Lahey. This is Niall Gilligan looking for another score, and he's got it. Oh, he loves it. Gilligan is beginning to do what no corner forward has done this season. Get the better of Paul Shelley.
That's 3 in a row now, Jim.
And he and Gilligan have been swinging at each other. There was obviously, I was just reading it, I'd said there was a word said.
Gilligan has it, turns, lifts the ball and strikes a great point. Tremendous point. That's 3 in a row now for Clare. That's really pulled them back into the game. 9-6.
Referee has just had a word with each of them there.
Gilligan's causing problems in there, Jim. He's making plenty of ball.
Johnny Lahey. Liam Doyle got back in him. Oh, that's great stuff. I mean, that is class. Lahey with virtually no room to even kick it and look. Still gets a score. You have to be tough, but you have to be skillful too. The whistles go at half-time. There hasn't been a goal in the game, but there have been 16 very good points, and Tipperary have got most of those. At half-time, Tipperary 10 points, Clare 6 points.
Having probably played pretty poorly in the first half, Niall Gilligan got 2 very, very vital points just coming up to half-time. And I think we felt at half-time that 4 points down, the wind was a factor. There was no question about that. having played very poorly, we were very much in the game.
Everyone felt in the dressing room there was so much to play for, and I think that was probably the most decisive time in the game, was actually the half-time whistle, knowing that we had a good win behind us. We hadn't played to our potential. We needed to up it in the second half, and I think everyone faced into the second half with that sort of view in it, that we had a lot of hard work to do, but we were well capable of doing it.
The one good thing about this Clare team is you don't really need to say a hell of a lot in the dressing room, you know. We would feel that the work has been done and let's go and do it now, you know. And I think any team that has a real sense of that you've worked hard together, you've put in the mileage together, you've put in the suffering, that then you don't really, the challenge speaks for itself and you go ahead and try and meet the challenge.
Second half, I think Liam Doyle's point again after half time was a start we needed, and it kind of kick-started us, and I think the momentum very much swung to us with that score.
This is Liam Doyle for Clare. Over the bar, great point by the wing half back after 14 seconds. Liam Doyle. Colin Lynch, 25-year-old, to take the puck, a footballer to a strong man, and a great point for Clare, who wasn't around for their championship run of 1995. Into the hand of Conor Clancy. They're going for early scores and they're getting them. Brilliant start to the second half by the 1995 All-Ireland champions Clare. This is Conor Gleeson, the captain from Borland. Dropping it in, looking for O'Mara, got the touchdown, Michael Cleary made space for himself. He was so quick, but out with the ball comes Brian Lohan. What an inspiring figure he is. Michael Ryan tried to bat it down for Tipperary. Terrific match. No Sheehy, but it's over the line. Brendan Cummins, another tremendous length in it. Aidan Ryan goes down, tries to pick it up. Anthony Daly prevents him doing so. The brave man will pick that up into his hand. Clear down to get Clare in the attack. It's Gerald Loughlin. Fergal Hegarty. Liam Sheedy stayed with it. It's back to O'Loughlin. Colin Bonner with him. Oh, a magnificent point by the longest serving current player in the Clare team, the forward they call Sparrow.
What a score by that Sparrow. Look, he wins the ball, he goes out, he runs out, makes space for himself from the byline, cuts it right across. Oh, magnificent score. Only one in it now.
1 point separating these two great Munster counties. Johnny Lahey tries to pick it up. Look at the number of Clare defenders that are around to make sure that Lahey gets nowhere fast. First he has one marker, McMahon, then Baker's there to help, Lynch is there to help.
Being honest, I reckon we've the best defences there, with the two Lohans, Michael O'Halloran in front here on the half-back line. We're a group, we spend a lot of time talking over things. We have our chat before games, we talk over different scenarios, and like everyone has a bit to contribute. They're all very sensible, they know their own games. As you say about myself and the goalkeeper, and I think a lot about it. So do the lads. They think a lot about their games and how they're going to play. And that's the one good thing I can say, that we do talk and we get on so well together, you know.
Brendan Cummins, Ballybacon Grange, same club as the great Babs Keating of another playing era. What a player this man is in possession now. Colin Lynch, Clare. He'll be vying for man of the match today. P.J. O'Connell here for Clare. Colin Bonner can't get onto it. He needs assistance. He's got it with his brother Connell, and then Noel Sheehy. In the hand of Baker. Baker to his midfield partner Lynch. There's a score on here. Lynch, who has played a quite magnificent game gets his second point of the game, but he's been wonderful at midfield for Clare.
That was a bad cleared shot from Sheedy, caught by Ollie Baker. Look at the space Lynch made himself, lifted his head, and bang, and now we're level.
That's Len Gaynor, but Leicester just showing you one side of the story. Gerard's been there as well. He's sitting down at the moment. Sean McMahon got caught there by Aidan Ryan. Aidan Ryan knocks it inside. Looking for young O'Neill. He's got by Lohan. Eugene O'Neill, great pass. And pass by three forwards. But now they have the chance with Tommy Dunn. It's over the bar. And Tommy Dunn is another contender for man of the match. His 5th point of the game.
That was great pressure on O'Neill. The ball come out. Tommy Dunn just happened to be starting, lifted the ball and struck a great point. But that was great work by O'Neill.
This is Colin Lynch for Clare. Out to James O'Connor. Score for Jamesy. His second of the second half. There's no doubting his talent, and even his foes would like to see him do well on the big occasion. There's Mert Duggan, Michael Doyle and Len Gaynor, the 3 selectors of Tipperary. Jimsy O'Connor takes the free, and Jimsy knocks it over the bar, and Clare are in front for the first time since Sean McMahon scored in the 2nd minute of the game. Aidan Ryan, Tipperary, up to Michael Cleary, grasped it beautifully. Inside to O'Mara. O'Mara with O'Halloran. Liam Doyle from Bodyke. O'Mara doesn't get all the praise that some of these other players get, but he's a great wing-back. Shelley and Gilligan. Shelley got a tip of the stick to it. Across comes Colin Bonner. Down goes Gilligan. But he's up again. Between Bonner and O'Connor. Bonner's got the better of that today. Tommy Dunn tip. Lovely ball into the inside line. Between O'Neill and Lohan. Lohan out with his left hand. Sean McMahon Clare. Down to Conor Clancy. Beats one Bonner to it, but Connell is there. Now it's James O'Connor. Tackled, held up and fouled by Liam Sheedy. Free to Clare. No doubt to be taken by James O'Connor.
Look at O'Connor go. He takes the ball. He knows he's going to be fouled. O'Connor's there's the guts and determination. Wants to go and get a score.
Jimsy O'Connor has got the last 3 scores of this match, and he is now coming into his own. Indeed, so are Clare. This is Michael Ryan. Over the head of Anthony Daly. He's there to clear it before Conor Gleeson can get in a challenge. Went behind Sheedy to Conall Bonner. Poor clearance. Ollie Baker, he's taking about a score. Then he has another thing. Out to Fole. Ryan goes crunching after him. Good fair shoulder by Michael Ryan. Well done, the Upper Church man. To Noel Sheehy, looking for his 3rd All-Ireland medal today. But Clare are getting in the blocks. And over she goes. David Ford. What an active substitution that was. Tommy Dunn here for Tip. 3 points in the first half. Oh, and a stop in there by Colin Lynch. He's been magical today for Clare. That could very well have snuck in. This is Dunn again, Tip. Cleary had a great finish for the semi-final against Wexford. James O'Connor. Ford, this boy has made some difference. Hasn't he just? What a sub! He used to say, it became a cliche really, super sub. Vanderskull is approaching it.
What a score! What a score! Look at this here for control. He knew what he wanted. He was going right through. Lost his ball, flicked it up and flicked it over the bar. Now Leahy left the stick very late to James O'Connor. And Dickie Murphy had a word with him.
4 points behind at half time. Clare are now 4 in front. Fitzgerald. Johnny Leahy looking a little dejected at the moment. Number 3 here, Noel Sheehy. Good blocking of there. Of Gerald Loughlin. Puts it in around the goal between Shelley and Gilligan. Gilligan trying to turn the corner back. He succeeded. Can he get in? Oh, that is wonderful point by Niall Gilligan. Wonderful point. And he really has taken this Tipperary defence onto himself and said, stop me if you can. "17 minutes left in the game and 5 points between them. And will he go for the big one? No, he doesn't. No heroics. Over the bar. Gerald Loughlin, is he going to have it 2 All-Irelands in 3 years? Johnny Leahy. Dropping it in round for Liam Cahill, has it! It's in the back of the net! It's a goal for Tipperary, but was he in the square? Was he in the square? The goal is still in doubt.
Yeah, if you watch this ball coming in, ball's dropping. Where was he when he caught it? He's in the square, all right. But the referees give a goal.
It's a goal. 1 point. 1 single point. Now have we a game or have we not got a game? 6 minutes left. Maybe a bit more for time added on by referee Dickie Murphy. Our man of the match will be selected by Jim Nelson today. And there are a lot of contenders. Jamesy O'Connor here for Clare. Jamesy going for a score. Oh, when the pressure's on, when most they needed it, the artist comes to his easel. Jamesy O'Connor. Tommy Dunn on the 65-metre line. 2 points between the sides. Tommy's going for the point. It's come off the bar. It's in the net! It's in the net! Tipperary have it in the net. And what a moment for them. What a moment for all. Eugene O'Neill. Dropped in.
The ball was struck in. As she comes in, she hits the crossbar, comes out, and O'Neill strikes. What a goal!
Bang, bang, 2 goals, and the game has turned on its head. Just one of those things. I suppose we maybe got the break in '95 when the ball came off the upright, and Eamon Taff finished it to the net. And I certainly felt personally that, you know, maybe the luck isn't going to be with us today. And particularly after the second goal, you know, it was a real body blow.
People said to me, how did you feel when the goals went in? I never felt like we were going to be beaten. Never. I think you'd know that by my reaction when I picked the ball out of net. Wasn't rushed, wasn't anything. I always felt like we were going to win. And it's not being cocky or anything like that. It's just the way I felt. And it's the way the rest of the lads, I'd say, felt as well, that we were going to win.
The only thing was that Ollie Baker came down and got an absolutely vital point straight after. So again, we never had to deal with the fact that we were down in the scoreboard, we were level.
2 minutes of normal playing time to go. The sides are level. Converted the goals to the points, it's 19 apiece. 500,000 people have watched the championship of 1997. 500,000. and countless millions more around the world on television. You among them. Yes, one of the stars of the game, Conal Bonner. Up to Declan Ryan. Declan Ryan getting away from Sean McMahon. Dropping it in around the goal. Comes to Eugene O'Neill. Beaten by Brian Lohan. Lohan's clearance into the hand of Liam Doyle. Michael Ryan bats it down. Colin Bonner. Liam Sheedy. Liam Cal. Colin Lynch. 1 minute and a half to go. James O'Connor Clare. If ever a man could lift the McCarthy Cup, it's O'Connor. It's over the bar. James E. O'Connor, the school teacher from St. Flannan's in Ennis. The forward who plays with contact lenses.
I was standing beside the post, and there was a kind of a glow in the sky when you'd look up, and I could just see James pivoting as he hit the ball, and on it came, and it was like in slow motion coming towards the uprights. And I knew straight away he was going over the bar, and it was a fantastic feeling. But there was another twist to the tail, of course.
Lahey's through! John Lahey goes for goal, saved by Fitzgerald. There's hardly time to take a breath as the ball is pushed from one end of the field to another.
I remember just the ball breaking out wide to the right hand side of our goal, and there he was. And I just thought, oh, it's the end of our lives.
Well, seeing that he's beside me here, I better say the right things now. No, I thought like that from being down full forward, it was very hard to see how close he was. But when I look back at it on TV, and that, I mean, it was a tremendous save. You know, if there was a goalkeeper in Ireland that I'd like to have been there, it was probably Davy on the day. You know.
Normally, the week before a game, what I try to do is I try to run over every scenario that might happen in the game. Go over a lot of them. Obviously, you wouldn't cover some of them, you know, but a lot of them I go over. And the thing I think is, if you think a lot of things over in your mind and your head, that on the day when situations arise, you won't have to think, they will just happen for you. They'll be in your mind and you'll just react straight away. And maybe it was one of them things I just reacted. Looking at the video afterwards, I think I reacted well on my feet. I moved 2 or 3 paces to right, and I didn't have to think about it. It just happened, you know. And I would put a lot of it down to mental preparation, anyhow, for definite.
Michael Ryan's clearance for tip. 1 point between them. Out of all of that, the end of it all is James O'Connor. It's over! Clare has beaten Tipperary twice in the 1 year. And now no one can deny them the biggest prize in the game of hurling.
When it was over, I just grabbed the bags and walked into the dressing room and sat down there for about 10 minutes before the players came in. And it was 10 minutes I'll never forget, because it was saying that Clare hurling is here at last, and nobody can ever question it now. We are among the great powers of hurling, and that's what we set out to do, really.
Like in the dressing room after the games in '95, there'd be huge celebration and stuff like that. But this year, we were sitting back, taking it all in, and great sense of satisfaction and a good sense of well done to each other. And then even after the All-Ireland, it was just the feeling of we completed the job, and we went ahead and we finished it off, you know, and that's really the difference between the 2 years.
This year we beat all of the traditionally strong counties on the way to winning the All-Ireland, and nobody can ever question but that this was a really, really great All-Ireland victory for Clare.